This is 6.1, Operations on Functions, Part 1 for Algebra 2. Today we're going to learn about how to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division using functions. And so you see the notation on the screen. It says if it's noted as f plus g of x is equal to the function of f of x added to the function of g of x. Same notation with subtraction. There's a subtraction sign there. You take the f function and subtract the g function from it. Multiplication. Take the f function multiplied by the g function. Most of the time you'll have to FOIL or distribute here. And then division, f divided by g of x is the f function on top, the g function on bottom, and the g function cannot equal 0. So let's do some examples with these. So it says find all four operations for the following. F of x equals x minus 1 and g of x equals 5x minus 2. So we're going to find f plus g of x. And to find that, you take the f function, and you say x minus 1, and you add it, because that's what it tells us to do, the g function, 5x minus 2. Then you would combine like terms. So x plus 5x is 6x, and negative 1 plus negative 2 is negative 3. And that would be your answer. So now, let's subtract them. We would say x minus 1, because that's the f function, minus the g function, 5x minus 2. So we have 1x minus 5x, so we have negative 4x, and we have negative 1 minus negative 2. So the same thing as negative 1 plus 2, which we would have positive 1. Okay, so now let's multiply them, and I'm going to go to the next screen for that, but we're going to use the same functions. So we're going to have f times g of x, and so we have x minus 1, because that's our f function, and then we have 5x minus 2, because that's our g function, and then we're going to FOIL them. So we do the first, x times 5x, outer, x times negative 2, inner, and last. And then you combine like terms. The last one, division. So the f function goes on top, because that's what they tell us, x minus 1 over 5x minus 2. Now in this case, we don't know how to go any farther. We would leave it just like this. Everything's reduced. It's in simplest form. You cannot cancel these x's because they are attached through subtraction to another number, so you cannot just cancel those. The only thing we do on this one is we have to tell what the denominator cannot be, because remember, your denominator cannot equal 0, so you would have to solve this. So 5x cannot equal 2, because I added the 2 over. Divide by 5, x cannot equal 2/5. And so that's what you would say here. X cannot equal 2/5, because that makes it 0. That would be your answer. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's change our function. Our function this time is going to be 3x squared minus 4. And our g of x function is going to be x squared minus 8x plus 4. So let's add them. So f plus g of x. And that equals 3x squared minus 4 plus x squared minus 8x plus 4. Combine your like terms, so 3 plus 1 would be 4x squared. We don't have any other x's, so we just have plus a negative 8x. And we have negative 4 plus positive 4, which would cancel, so this would be our answer. Let's subtract them. Again, our f function comes first. So you have 3x squared minus x squared, so we have 2x squared. Then we have a minus a negative 8x, which makes this plus 8x. And then you have negative 4 minus 4, which makes it negative 8. Okay, let's go to our multiplication. So our f function is 3x squared minus 4, and our g function is x squared minus 8x plus 4. So because the second function is not a binomial, it's a trinomial, you can't just FOIL, you would have to distribute everything. So we are going to distribute the 3x squared. So 3x squared times x squared is 3x to the 4th. 3x squared times negative 8x, so we have negative 24x cubed. 3x squared times 4, so we have plus 12x squared. Then you distribute your negative 4 to everything. So we would have negative 4x squared. Then we have negative 4 times negative 8x, so we would have positive 32x. And then negative 4 times positive 4 would be negative 16. Okay, now we combine our like terms. There's nothing alike with the 3x to the 4th. There's nothing alike with the x cubed. So those come on down. Then we have a 12x squared minus a 4x squared. So we have plus 8x squared. Then we don't have any other like terms, so we just bring them down. That would be our answer. Our last one we're going to do today is division. So we have f divided by g of x. Our f function's on top, 3x squared minus 4. Our g function on bottom is x squared minus 8x plus 4. We can't do anything with that besides the denominator can't equal 0. So we would have x squared minus 8x plus 4 equals 0. And so this is a quadratic, so you have to remember how you solve quadratics. You could either graph this, you could factor this, completing the square, or quadratic formula. And some of you are probably already figuring out that factoring is not going to work here because there's nothing that will multiply to give us 4 that will add to give us negative 8. And so I would just go automatically to my quadratic formula. So let's plug everything in. We have a negative 8. You guys know this well now, so we will just write all the steps out. So a negative 8 is a positive 8. Negative 8 squared is 64. 4 times 1 times 4 is 16, so we have minus 16 all over 2. 64 minus 16 is 48, so we have 8 plus or minus the square root of 48 all over 2. Now 48, if you think about your square root column, is 16 times 3. The square root of 16 is 4. So we have 8 plus or minus 4 square root 3 over 2. Our last step would be to reduce. We reduce because all of these numbers are divisible by 2. So you would have 4 plus or minus 2 square root of 3. So when we go back up here for our answer, x cannot equal 4 plus or minus 2 square root 3. And so this would be our answer for the division part of this problem. That concludes part 1.